It's strange how sometimes the quietest moments carry the loudest truths, like the kind that sit heavy in your chest before you even understand why. Tonight feels like one of those moments. Something is happening behind those palace walls, something no one was supposed to see, and somehow it feels less like news and more like a secret you and I accidentally stumbled into together. You can almost imagine Harry standing there, the world shrinking around him, realizing that the people he once trusted to shield him are the same ones preparing to cut him loose. No PR team to sweep away the mess, no safe exit across the Atlantic, just the cold reality that the family name he was born into may be the very thing closing in on him now. The whispers started softly at first, the kind you'd ignore if they didn't feel so ominous. But then they grew, London insiders murmuring about a plan that feels like it belongs to a darker time, a time when the crown didn't negotiate, it eliminated, and somehow Harry's name is etched into the center of it. You can almost feel the tension pulsing through those palace corridors. Something's shifting, something the royals never wanted the public to sense. People think this is about healing, about brothers finding their way back to each other. But if you listen closely, beneath all the public smiles and carefully rehearsed statements, there's a different story playing out. A story where William isn't the patient older brother anymore. He's the one holding the power, making decisions in rooms where the doors stay locked and the curtains never move. And the cruel twist? Harry isn't flying home for love or nostalgia. He's flying home because someone, maybe one of the last voices he still trusts, called him in the middle of the night and told him something irreversible was coming. Something that could strip him and Meghan of their titles for good. Something already in motion. You can imagine the panic hitting Montecito like a wave. Advisors scrambling, phones buzzing. Everyone tells him to slow down, to wait, to strategize. But he didn't want a strategy. He wanted answers. He wanted the truth straight from the only person who could stop this from turning into a final, unforgiving blow. And strangely, he wasn't flying home to see his father. That's the part that stings the most. His destination wasn't Charles's door, it was William's. Because somewhere deep down, Harry knows the throne might still belong to his father, but the power doesn't anymore. And that silence from Buckingham Palace? That isn't the silence of routine. It's the kind that fills a room when everyone inside knows something's breaking. The palace never hides happiness. It hides chaos. It hides the moments that could tear apart the illusion of unity they work so hard to protect. By the time Harry's jet touches the runway, the wheels of whatever William has put in place are already turning too fast to stop. And maybe that's what scares him most. This stopped being a sibling rivalry a long time ago. It's become a reckoning, one that threatens to rewrite his place in royal history forever. Publicly, people still talk about the rift like it's fixable, like a meeting in Boston or a simple apology could mend years of hurt. But you and I know better. Distance doesn't break families like this. Power does. Legacy does. And behind the perfect photos and polished statements, William has already begun something he calls the clean sweep. Legal meetings, silent briefings, private conversations with the people who can make things official. It isn't personal to him, it's business. A damaged brand can't afford loose ends, and whether Harry sees it or not, the crown sees him as exactly that. A loose end unraveling in public. And just when it feels like the storm inside the palace can't get any darker, another shadow appears. Prince Andrew's scandal rising again, deeper and uglier than before. Epstein's name returning like a ghost that refuses to stay buried. Emails, money trails, accusations of quiet police interference. All the things William's been desperately trying to distance the monarchy from. It's the final crack in the foundation. The moment his patience doesn't just thin, it snaps. Because no matter how far Harry ran, no matter how many interviews he gave, none of it compares to the weight of Andrew's past, dragging the monarchy deeper into the mud. And William, determined to save the institution he believes he was born to protect, looks at the family and starts deciding who strengthens the crown and who weakens it. And in his mind, that decision is already made. Harry may be flying toward his brother hoping for mercy, but the truth waiting for him is far colder. This isn't about family anymore. It's about survival. For the monarchy. For William's future reign. and maybe, in some painful way, even for Harry. What's coming next isn't a conversation between siblings.
It's a final confrontation between a man trying to save an institution and a man who may be about to lose the last piece of it he still has left. It's strange how a single moment can flip a man from disappointment to certainty, like the way William's expression reportedly shifted when he read those confidential memos. One page after another, each sentence heavier than the last, until something inside him just cooled. To him, this wasn't about rumors or bad decisions. This was corruption. And in that quiet room inside Kensington Palace, it finally hit him that the monarchy wasn't being attacked by outsiders. It was decaying from the inside out. You can almost picture him sitting there, the weight of 1,000 years pressing down on his shoulders, thinking of his son and the world he wants him to grow into. Not a world of scandals and whispered disgrace, but one where the crown actually stands for something. Something clean. Something that matters. And that's the moment he stopped playing the patient heir. He started playing the future king. People expect royals to shout, to slam fists, to erupt. But William isn't fire. He's ice. He doesn't warn you. He just moves. He calculates, he strategizes. And when he commits to a decision, the consequences are already quietly unfolding. That's why those in his path don't just lose influence. They vanish. The Yorks were merely the beginning. The Sussexes were next. And while the outside world thought this was a family crisis, the truth inside the palace was far colder. William wasn't calling emergency meetings. He was calling lawyers. Not advisors who speak in soft phrases, but constitutional experts who understand exactly how to reshape royal tradition into enforceable law. Their purpose? To carve a legal path that could permanently sever Harry and Meghan from the monarchy's foundations. Months earlier, Parliament brushed off petitions to strip Harry and Meghan of their titles, insisting only the monarch had that power. But William saw that as a starting point, not a dead end. Whispers in Westminster say he's quietly drafting a reform that would give the next sovereign the authority to revoke titles for behavior deemed unbecoming of a royal. And before he tests it on Harry and Meghan, he plans to run it on Prince Andrew, using his disgrace as the perfect precedent. Once that door opens, Harry's fate stops being emotional. It becomes procedural, just paperwork, a signature, a clean erasure of a royal identity that once meant everything. And what's chilling is how many in Parliament supposedly support it. After years of headlines, scandals, Netflix deals, and tell-all books, they don't want drama. They want stability. They want a monarchy that looks modern and disciplined, not one held hostage by family conflict. So while Harry sits on a plane hoping for peace, William is finalizing the document that could end his brother's royal life forever. Across the ocean, Meghan is building something of her own, but her vision is different. She isn't preparing a reconciliation tour, she's designing a brand, a luxury cosmetics empire carrying a name both elegant and controversial, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Not as a title, as a legal surname. It's clever, infuriatingly clever. Because even if the palace strips the title, she can still use it on packaging, trademarks, endorsements, everything. She even began trademarking variations of the name for perfumes, skincare, accessories. It was brilliant, audacious, unmistakably Hollywood. But for William, it was a declaration of war. The late Queen left a single clear rule: no royal title should ever be monetized. And now, Meghan was turning the Duchess identity into a signature line of products. Behind closed doors, William reportedly moved quickly, instructing legal teams to block trademark registrations across major markets. What began as cosmetics became a battlefield. The fallout was immediate. The Diana watch Meghan once wore publicly disappeared from sight. Insiders whisper William decreed that no royal heirloom would ever be used for commercial optics again. Montecito fumed. The palace did not flinch. So when Harry's jet touched down in London, he wasn't returning to family. He was stepping into a war zone with no allies. Every street leading to the palace was just another reminder that he was walking toward the man who now controlled his fate. Maybe he rehearsed apologies on the flight. Maybe he practiced words he hoped would mend something broken. But the truth waiting for him behind those palace doors